Were you expecting that hook?
I thought we'd play well. I wasn't expecting that scoreline, but we had a really good week and a good preparation, and but no, I wasn't expecting that scoreline.
Is it satisfying, Anthony, but you're not quite sure how good it was because the other team obviously wasn't up to where they
yeah, I was sort of more worried about us. I just thought we prepared well and we did what we had to do in week one and took care of our job, and that's the main thing.
Matthew Gillett, he's just the second half of his season's been really, I guess, sort of flying under the radar. But he was great at it, and filling in the spot out well.
Yeah, he was good. I thought our back rowers were terrific tonight. The four of them, Glenn, Gillette, Parker and Tio. And they all got their own different styles, but they were all on their game there tonight, and it gave us a little bit of variety. Once we got away from the middle of the ruck there, they all added something, even a chip and chase there at one stage.
Do you tell Matt to back himself?
Not to chip and chase, no. He's lucky he got it back.
Have you played with many guys that can sort of offload under pressure like
he can be unconventional at times, but he's a little bit like Mateo. He backs himself. Probably a month ago, those passes weren't sticking for him, but he's been working hard, and at the moment he's playing well. But I think he has a bit of an X factor that helps in these sort of games.
Darren, you beyond thinking how young, does it still cross your mind how young some of your teammates are and what they can do at such a young age, or are you past thinking in those terms, you just take it for granted now?
Well, they've been in the system for a while. I mean, last year was a bit of an up and down year, but they were still learning the concept of playing week in, week out of the NRL standard. But they've had enough football at that level now, and they're consistent. And I'm not surprised at what they're delivering. It's good to watch.
They don't seem to be affected by sort of finals pressure even tonight, anyway.
Well, we've had a few lead-up games. Last week was a big game in terms of build-up, the Cowboys game. So, they've got a bit of an insight into what, a little bit of hype into a game and a big crowd, big atmosphere. So they're handling it well, though.
Has it been a bit of a secret to your success, the versatility you've been able to create in players playing multi-positions, and you lose Sam and Gillette comes in and you lose Hoffy and Beale has a cracker at the back. I mean, you just seem to be nicely covered everywhere.
Yeah, we've got a bit of depth, which is good. With Beale, as I said earlier in the week, he got himself into a test side through his form at fullback early in the year, and the other two guys, Gillette and Tio, are both good players in their own right. But that was a good, it was a win for us, and we don't want to get too carried away with it. Next week it's sudden death, so they all did their job tonight. We just got to freshen up and get ready for next week now.
And would you have a preference at this time of the year? Like, would you like to have a week off now, or do you think that they could interrupt the momentum that you're building?
No, I haven't coshy at all. No, I just wait and see what happens, and whatever. We haven't got any control over what happens now. As far as we're concerned, we won our semi, and I think we play St George. I don't know if you guys might know. Is that right?
The top two teams will play.
Yeah, I mean, conventionally we play St George next week, so we get ready for that.
What do you think of those two try assists before half time? The one by Beale and one by Gillette. They're pretty special, aren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Particularly Gillette's. He's just got as Lockyer said, he's got that little bit of X factor about him that if he gets a little bit of space, he can make the most of it. And I thought, in particular, his try was a real good reward for us. We'd been sort of screwing them down all half and hadn't quite got the rewards at probably the field position and possession we had should have, if you know what I mean, and we'd had that one disallowed at the start as well, so it was just a real good way for us to finish the half with that try.
Darren, when you lead 18-0 going at half time with a lead like that, how important is it to score that first try after half time? Because you feel comfortable in a sense, but you know that if they get that first try, they can hit back. Was it try pretty important?
It was. I mean, a big focus for us was, just sort of shutting down their offloads. We played them here 5 weeks ago. They scored a couple of tries in the first half just through, second phase play. So, if they get into that sort of mode, they're hard to stop. So for us to control that well tonight was pleasing, but to come out in the second half and play with the same intensity we did in the first half was also pleasing.
Did you tell the boys to keep targeting Batavai? Never leave him alone?
No, it was windy out there tonight, so putting the ball in the air was probably a high percentage play. Gerald's probably, he's jumping well at the moment, so it was probably more of a focus kicking to Gerald rather than Manu.
Didn't feel sorry for Manu at any stage, did you? He had one of those nights.
Yeah, he had a week off last week, didn't he? So he's, sometimes when you miss a week of footy, you can lose a bit of time, and he was probably a little bit off the pace.
Darren, do you think your attack is at a point now where any of the other remaining sides would equally struggle to contain it, or do you think there are some sides you're more suited to playing against than others, or what are your thoughts?
Well, that was probably the last few weeks we've been patchy with our footy. We probably tonight we just held on to the ball a bit better and we got the points. So I think a lesson for us is just if we can just make sure we got our completions high, that we're going to give ourselves a chance of scoring as many points as possible.
And then I was asking about Josh Maguire and Preston too. I mean, props don't usually get too many headlines, they just seem to be outstanding tonight. I mean, I know they have been very solid all season, but have you really seen, we talk about Jack Reeds and people come through, but have you been really pleasantly surprised when pleased how those two props are?
Yeah, they're doing a good job, and Josh is obviously in a bit of form at the moment. And you play the Warriors, you've got to do a good job in the middle, otherwise you're going nowhere. And I thought early in the game, our line speed and our contact in defence was very good.
As far as big play goes, Darren, that ball steal by Alex Glenn, was it right up there?
Yeah, that was a big play. Like Hook said, we dominated field position that first half, but we just weren't getting the points. So that play, and then Gillette's sort of try assist. That was, I felt we were in the first half. I felt like we were 18-0, but had those two plays not come off, it would have been 6-0. I don't think that would have reflected the game.
In the last probably 2 or 3 weeks, you guys have started the game really well. Sort of that first 30 minutes, you've really dominated field position and possession and that sort of stuff. Has that been a real focus for you guys more in those games? It's sort of paid off the back end of each other.
Yeah, well, I think it's been something you got to do at this time of year if you want to be competitive. And we've had obviously a few big days with Lockyer, and we've been playing teams that are alive in the playoffs, and so it's when you're playing big games, it's important that you don't beat yourself first. You get out there and get yourself into the game and give yourself something to work off. I mean, that's every team's trying to do that. At the moment, we're getting ourselves into games and getting it right at the moment, but next week's another week. We've got to get ready again.
How's Ojo when he scored that try? Developed a bit slowly?
Yeah, he's all right. He actually got knocked into the concrete on the the sign. So we planned, after Andrew McCullough scored that try, we planned to get him off, but then he was on there for that set, and so I had a little bit of worry then, because when he got up he was limping, and I thought hopefully it wasn't his hammy, but he was fine. He's
good. When he hit the concrete?
Just his hip, I think, No, but he's fine. He's 100%.
I know you answered this question yesterday, but I've got nothing firm. There's parents and rooms coming into Sydney that Brisbane is very interested in talking to you, or at least having a chat with his managers, not maybe in person. Have you had any inquiries at all from
No. I can tell you this, Margie.